What's up, mi gente? It's Anthony Rosa, Mr. Remedy, and you are watching another show on the Round Table Remedies, and I'm super excited for our show tonight. We're talking about the power within compassion. And tonight we have an amazing cast of speakers. I'm super excited to have you all on. But first, in speaker rotation, I would love for them to introduce themselves and tell us where they're calling from. So, Michelle?
Hello, everybody. I'm Michelle Esquiroza. I'm a mortgage banker from Maywood, New Jersey. And I grew up in Miami. A big piece of my heart is still there, but I've been living in the Northeast. It's going to be 19 years next month.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you on and thank you for coming. Next in speaker rotation, we have Mia.
Hi, I'm Mia Villon, and I have many hats, but I'm here tonight to speak about the story of Baby Bundle and being a Rotarian.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mia, for coming on. And then anchoring us in for the show, Ruth.
Hi, hello everyone. I am Ruth Neviar, and it is an honor to be here tonight, Anthony. Thank you for having me. And I'm here to speak about compassion through the gift of life in Rotary.
Absolutely. And definitely, the Rotary has impacted my life significantly when I started to become a member in 2018. And the power within compassion. Today, we're going to be talking about not only being compassionate to yourself, but being compassionate to others. And the Roundtable Remedies was created to inspire, connect, and educate you from real people, real stories. And we hope some of the tips or tricks that you might take away this evening are remedies. And of course, if you're watching on the live, we would like for you to hashtag live. And if you're watching on the replay, please hashtag replay. So, Michelle, kicking us off, when you think of the power within compassion, what comes to mind?
So, I get asked to talk about financial things all the time. I was very intrigued when you asked me to come on this panel this evening. And it's been a couple weeks since we talked about the invitation, and you gave me absolutely no guidance as to what was going to happen here. So I just got to thinking about compassion in general, right? Leading up to tonight. And I got to tell you that I came to the realization that compassion has not only played a tremendous role in shaping me throughout my life, but it also plays a tremendous role in how I live my life. So it's actually a really great topic. I'm excited to talk about it. And there are two angles for me. There's the fact that I feel I'm an empath. I suffer from empathy.
Mhm.
And in the mortgage business, that's fantastic for helping make dreams happen for people, right? So a lot of what I do today involves feeling compassionate for people's journeys and really having a true interest in helping them overcome obstacles to get them to where they want to be in terms of home ownership. But when I think back throughout my life, I was a single mother for most of my adult life. I went through all the struggles of a single mom, as you can imagine. I had my son is 29. I had him when I was 20. And as happens, with a lot of single parents, you go through a tremendous amount of ups and downs financially. And there were times in my life where uh, different angels, let's call them, that I've come in contact with throughout my life, through their compassion, they lifted me up in one way or another to help me achieve, whether it was the next stage in my life, or maybe it was a job opportunity, or maybe it was, something extreme and drastic. I'll share a personal story. I'll never forget. Sometime maybe 25 years ago, I had a serious financial problem, and my car got repossessed.
Mm.
And the people or the persons that I thought would come to the rescue didn't, and a complete stranger helped me out of that mess.
Wow.
So it's moments like that in my life with people that have, and I've never told the story because I'm proud. I'm an empowered woman. I've always been self-sufficient.
Wow.
When I think about compassion, there have been people in my life that have, just created a domino effect of positive things just by, moving the needle just a little bit to help me in my own life. So I've tried. I wished that in my 20s I would have had a mentor or someone that would, more people that would move the needle, or that would have saved me from, a ton of different things that happened. There were just strategic characters, throughout different times that came into my life and helped me in very meaningful and impactful ways. So in later adulthood, I've tried to pay that forward, be that person. I truly enjoy helping others and mentoring others and helping other young people, old people. Doesn't matter how old you are. If it's within my means to help move the needle in someone's life, I take great satisfaction in that. I feel, most people are chasing milestones or chasing goals in their life. And I don't know about all of you, but for me personally, when I achieve different things in my own life, that feeling is fleeting. But
Mm,
when you help others through compassion, it always begins with compassion. Whatever positivity comes from that, at least for me, I feel lasts a lifetime. The satisfaction in that lasts a lifetime. So compassion is a tremendous topic. It's played a tremendous role in my life, both on the receiving end, and I feel that I live my life, with that emotion, front and center and on my sleeve. So that's a little tiny bit of my story. I want to let the ladies, tell theirs, and I love to hear about everybody else's journey. But yes, great, great
Hey, well,
topic.
we'll get to them in a minute, Michelle. Right now it's all about you. And I grew up in a single parent background with my mother, so I can relate and I understand. And I probably wasn't the easiest growing up to deal with either. I probably wasn't as compassionate or understood it as I do now, right? But Michelle, you talked about there was a time in your life where you shared and you were very vulnerable, and I just want to say thank you for sharing that story. You know, Compassion is one of those things that, do you agree, is it learned, or do you have to go through something to learn compassion?
That's a fantastic question. I think to a certain extent, it's an emotion that's innate in people in different levels, right? Because on one end of the spectrum, you have people that don't understand or feel compassion at all, and maybe are sociopaths. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have people that are so compassionate that they will forego everything for themselves to help others, or lift up others, sometimes to their own detriment, right?
Right.
So I don't know if it's, I think to a certain extent it might be learned, the way that we see our parents evolve, amongst family and friends, the examples that that others set around us, especially when we're children. I think back to my childhood, and my parents were always helping other people, and I think that maybe from having seen that, it's natural for me to maybe do the same. But it's got to be in your DNA, at least a little bit.
Right, because I find that it's really easy to be compassionate towards others, but sometimes when you're compassionate to yourself, it's like you don't want to accept that help. Or, sometimes I would use words like, "Oh, I'm so dumb," or "Oh, I'm so stupid." Like just these silly words. I don't know if you would just in the moment, if you did something silly or like you weren't paying attention, it's like, why'd I do that? And I'm like, in that moment, it's better to be compassionate and show empathy than, being so hard on yourself, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, for me personally, I'm never hard on myself that way, but it has been hard for me to be vulnerable and let others help me, because I prefer to be the helper, not to be the person on the receiving end.
Hmm.
So it's almost embarrassing for me, is the word I would use, to allow others to do for me, right? But I mentioned earlier, there have been people throughout my life that, whether it was in a moment that I really really needed help, or in a moment where they see something in me that I didn't realize that they saw, and they want to open a door, or lift me up in some way, somehow. There have definitely been moments that compassion has been the driver to help lift me up into the next, whatever the next chapter is. So,
Right.
I think, whoever of all the people watching, If they know who they are. I want to thank you publicly for
Thank
watching
you.
this.
Thank you, secret angel helper,
Secret angel
to
helpers. Yes.
help. Mia and Ruth, I saw that you both were nodding your head at the same time when Michelle was talking about being accepting help. Mia, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
Well, I do think I see this all the time with what I do is like it fits so perfectly in with what Michelle was saying. I give out maternity packages to moms in need, and there are families and they have the father figure, but they still can't afford to get their basics because he's not working at this time, and it's so hard. And I have some families or friends of these people that call me that they need it and they refuse to accept this package. They just, it would be so helpful, but they just don't want to accept it because they have this stigma about accepting help. And it's not about that, because then I see the gratitude when I give these packages to others, and they just start crying of just receiving the maternity package. It's incredible. So it's just how what she was saying fits in with what I do.
Wow. Yeah, and you were talking about what I took away was that prideful. It's like not really accepting or wanting to accept that help. Ruth, you were nodding your head. What were you thinking?
Oh, because I identify with Michelle, so it's always been easy for me to give than to accept uh, and feel vulnerable. But I did had a lot of angels in my life too, and it's through compassion and empathy.
Yeah, compassion is very strong, right? And I
Yes.
find myself involved in a water well project in Ghana through the Rotary, and dealing with the African Chamber of Commerce and seeing videos of how they live and seeing the water well almost complete. I'm like, I can't believe I'm a part of that. Even if I just donated time or an idea or resources and monetary resources, it's just that just to be a part of it is mind blowing, right? And I think that those like Mia and Ruth that are involved in the Rotary, you kind of understand what the Rotary internationally tries to accomplish. And Rotary to me is like compassion, the definition of compassion. um, Michelle, I really appreciate you starting us off and being vulnerable. I want to kind of admire the fact that it's really hard to accept help sometimes, right? Mia, you were kind of explaining it, and accepting the right help, right? Because there's some help that that they're gonna use it against you later on. So how do you figure out when it's compassion, doing it the right for good reasons, or I'm just trying to do this to get some type of benefit? That's a question for the three of you. Michelle, what are your thoughts?
That's not it's not easy because to your point, and now I think back, and there have been times where someone is expressing some sort of compassion toward me and helping me and doing something for me, and down the road you understand that there was a price they expected you to pay for that, right? And being women, I think it's appropriate to say, I don't know about the ladies, but I can definitely say that there were times, as a single parent, where someone had a gesture, a significant gesture toward me and helping me in some way, and then it was expected, that you repay that gesture personally somehow, right? Sometimes with, if it's a male friend or a man in your life that helps you in some way, sometimes there's the nervousness of that, right? Is
Mhm.
For me
Acceptance.
personally, a lot of times I would never accept help from someone I'm dating or someone I'm in a relationship with, because I want to keep all the control of being in the relationship, because I want to be there, not because I feel like I owe somebody something or I have to be there. So I think for me, being self sufficient throughout my life, a lot of times was about proving something or about, keeping my independence. It's never easy to tell what somebody expects or wants in return. And I can say that, throughout my life, there have been times where I thought that people were being genuinely helpful, or that they really just wanted to help for the sake of helping at that moment. And then down the road, you realize it was expected that something be given in return. And
Mm.
that's never, if you're going to express compassion with any level of selfishness, then that's just not the right way to do it. Compassion is selfless, or it should be selfless, in my
Mm.
opinion. If you're going to help someone, it shouldn't be with the expectation of receiving something in return. But unfortunately, in a lot of cases, it comes with the territory.
Right. Mia, I saw you nodding your head throughout that time. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, I have this belief that when you give, you do get back, but don't expect it from who you gave it to get it
Yeah.
back from that person. And during all my life, it's always been like that. And people say, "Oh, I gave this person this, I got nothing back." It's those are exact examples of that, and I hear that a lot. And I said, well, you shouldn't be expecting to receive
Mm.
anything back if you're getting. And I'm trying to give them advice, and I've noticed that I do get back if I give, but it's not from who I expected it to come back, even if I didn't expect, because I don't expect anymore to get anything back. I just you give and you get. It's just in that way that I see it.
Right. It's like you have to be genuine, right? When you're giving or showing compassion, right? Not there's no hidden favors or anything to come back from it. Mia, so
Right.
why don't you talk us a little bit more about what it means to you when you think of the power within compassion?
Well, compassion to me, I feel it's like a value that I that I have that I have from something that I've done over the years. And compassion to me is not just me feeling good when I give. It's to see the gratitude on the people that I
Mm.
help and that I have given, and also the compassion of coming together, like what we do in Rotary, when you just lift a finger and you need help and everybody runs to help you. And that's the compassion that I see in friends and family, and Rotary is my family.
Right, right. And shout out to those watching. Of course, we want you to like, comment, and engage in this conversation talking about the power within compassion. So, Mia, tell me a little bit more about Baby Bundle.
Well, Baby Bundle is a maternity package that's given out to newborn children, pregnant moms that are in need. They, as we know, the costs are high, sky high right now to buy anything. The baby shampoos, the diaper rash cream, and this maternity package come filled out with around 50, 60 items. And I do have a huge support from the Rotarians and other entrepreneurs that help me out donating the items for this package. But I kind of do the shopping, put it together, and give it out through an application that I have online. It's called babybundle.org. You could go there and apply if you need it, or if you want to donate, you could go to that website also as well and donate even money or the items that are needed in the package. And we identify through groups, through clinics, through shelters, moms that are pregnant or just gave birth within the last 3 months, and then we deliver this package to them. And it's really been a well received kind of a program. And we could see the happiness in these moms. As I said, some of them just start to cry when they already see me arriving with this package. Not only because it's a beautiful thing that they get, but it really has all the items they need, and it takes a weight out of them having to go shop now for the little thing for the nose to clean the nose, the little things for that you need for the rashes. Everything is there in that package, so it alleviates them from all that. That right now they have a baby to think about, and they, not only that, they don't have the means, they don't have the money to get it, or who knows how far they live from a pharmacy. When we deliver these, the moms that we deliver these, mostly they don't have they don't have a car, they're pregnant, they can't carry a lot of shopping in their situation, or they have a newborn and they shouldn't be going out, because that's not a good thing to take your baby out shopping when they're 3 days old.
It's true, right? And we have more people that are joining us now, and we're talking about the power within compassion. When you think of compassion, what comes to mind? I would like for those that are watching to process that question, unfold and unpack it. Compassion, what does it mean to you? You know, Mia, you talked about the experience that these mothers are receiving when you're giving them these baby bundles. Why baby bundle? Why did you feel like you needed to stand in the gap for mothers in need in that particular category?
Well, I come from a country, Finland, and this item is given out to every citizen. And when I gave birth to my two kids, I went back to Finland because, not that I didn't have the means here, I had insurance, I had my husband, but I also had my work. I did not have close family here that could have helped me out during those first couple of weeks with the baby. So I decided to go back over there. And when I was there, I really didn't have anything. So for me
No.
to kind of fit in, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this baby bundle because I'm not in, I'm really don't live here permanently. No, as soon as I signed up with the clinic, I received the baby bundle at home, and I had heard people talk about it, but I didn't realize how much was in there that helped me through the whole first year
Mm,
of my babies. Like, okay, it doesn't continuously give you diapers, but it has the initial set of diapers. So and it has some of those items that I kept on using. That the towel, it lasted for 5 years, and I didn't
mm,
have to think about towels and other things. So when I came here with the Rotary Club, we always were helping out, as Ruth will speak to, with the gift of life. We helped children coming over to this country that needed life-saving surgeries, and we helped kids in those countries. But we also had people in our club that we need to do something here locally, and this is where this idea came to my mind, that here locally, helping local people, there is a big need, and I was surprised how big of a need. There are days that I receive 40 applications a day for moms that need this program. So I
so
keep on talking, so I do
it's
want
You
to
know
okay.
what?
give
Yeah, no, it's
I
this
want to
is
make a
to
comment.
yeah,
others.
I was
Yeah.
waiting. I was actually about to come to you, Michelle. You had that smile on. So, Michelle,
Yeah.
what are
Well,
some of your thoughts?
because I think it's incredible because especially for brand new moms that don't already have a baby. I remember as I'm hearing Mia talk when I had my son. I didn't even know. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you need because it's a new baby. And just the thought of leaving the baby to go to the pharmacy is traumatic when in those first few days. So how incredible that somebody had the foresight, to do this for all moms in Finland, and now
Mm.
Mia and this team of wonderful people put this together for mothers here that are in need. I mean, heck, everybody needs one of those baskets, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mia, how much do those baskets normally go for?
They're around $300 each basket. The basket in itself could be used as a sleeping crib, initial crib. It comes with even
Wow.
a little mattress on the bottom, and that's only to share that it's not safe to kind of sleep with your baby in your initial days. If you don't have a crib, it's safer to have this baby in this box, of course emptied out from all the items that it was filled up with. But yes, that all together with the box, it's around 300, sometimes $350. And now, a lot of the times, I get groups and organizations that give me, they donate the books to me, or they donate me a whole bunch of diapers. So then the cost out of my pocket, then it's just less. The more I have items donated, the less is the cost, but it still remains the same. If you add those items together, it's gonna be around $300.
Absolutely. And
Wow.
and you know that there's power there. There is power within compassion, right? And just you having to personally experience that, right? Michelle, you had that moment where you had to personally experience something as well. And I think that when we personally experience these things, we can do one of two things. We can benefit from it, or we could just kind of put our guard up. And I think that, Mia, what you're doing with Baby Bundle and standing in the gap for women and families in need is amazing. And I
Thank
want to
you.
say thank you so much and recognize that. Ruth,
Thank
I,
you
I
for
saw you
having
kind
me.
of just nodding your head. What are some of your thoughts there?
No, yes, absolutely right. The need is so great, especially now. There's a lot of young women unemployed, and getting this package is just like such a huge help for a single young mother, having the everything she needs to begin the few months of the life of the baby. It's just compassion at work.
Hmm. So, Ruth, now that you're up, I would like for you to kind of tell us a little bit. What are your thoughts when it comes to the power within compassion?
Well, I believe, and to me, compassion is an act of love.
Mm.
And compassion and kindness goes hand in hand. Whether it's a compassion from a stranger, we Rotarians usually, no matter what happens, we step up and we see the need in a woman and elderly that is trying to get home in the middle of the winter with the little shopping bags, and you just offer them a ride. And that's a beautiful thing to do and well appreciated. Or someone doesn't have enough money on the supermarket line, and you just pitch in $5, $7, and it makes you feel good because you see a smile on their faces, or sometimes a little surprise face or anything like that. And with the gift of life for us, it is really very rewarding, the compassion from the fellow Rotarians when you reach out to them and say, we're saving the life of this child, and we're saving the life of the child plus the family. And everyone asks you, what do you need? Okay, they give you money. What else do you need? You say, okay, the mom is size 12 and the child is size 6. I need clothes and I need a luggage and I need anything. It's unbelievable how much you can get, and people just step up. In my personal life, without asking, I was always blessed to find kind, compassionate people that things just work, no matter how hard it was.
Mm.
Somehow, I guess it's also compassion and faith. Somehow, it just you find an angel, and they help you, and you fix your problem, or you do whatever you plan to do. And it begins with your family. Compassion is with your husband, your children, your mother, everybody. And if everybody feels that you can give this empathy and put yourself in their shoes, you know, it's like a domino effect. You change their day, you change their life, and maybe they learn how to give back. Like Mia was saying, you do it, but you don't expect, and that's the best way to give. I do the same thing all the time. Whatever I give, I never expect anything, but it comes from. It's like a bloodline, like
Mhm.
you plant a seed and it just keeps on growing, and you never know how tall the tree is gonna get, and you never know how delicious fruits you're going to harvest. You know, it's just beautiful thing. The gift of life is just one of the best examples. You know, you bring these kids that are so sick, they can't even walk, they can't eat because even eating is an exercise. And as soon as you are part of that life-saving surgery, the lips of the child is pink,
Mm,
their nails are pink, it's not purple, and they can walk, they can play soccer, they can swim. You know, that is very rewarding, and that is an act of compassion and love for us.
right.
You know,
I
vitamin,
remember I remember
vitamin for
my
you.
first I remember my first gift of life recipient. That was my Rotary moment. He was from Bolivia, and he was coming for his second open
Yeah,
heart surgery,
Diego,
Diego. And I reached out to Red Bulls, and
Diego is a young boy.
Red Bulls gave us complimentary tickets to take him and his family and the host and some of the members from the Rutherford Rotary, and we went there to a soccer game right before his surgery to uplift his spirit. And just seeing him, I learning the story of traveling miles and miles through the Bolivian jungle to go to the airport, and just hearing that they're crossing mountains and then coming here. It's an amazing thing. And what I'm
It's a
hearing, one
great
thing
experience.
too, is there's always that one person, right? Ruth, we're mentioning that you can be that one person to change and impact someone's life, or there's always one person that just kind of shows you that compassion and it becomes a domino effect.
No, it can be ourselves, but it's also like when you inspire others to do the same thing. And that's when the domino comes in, you know, because other people participates and other people will go on and change the life of somebody. A little example: when a mother and a child comes to this country and there is a host family and you become their family, you take them to the hospital, you make sure they're okay, and then they, before they go home, they go, how can I ever pay? They always say that.
Mhm,
They pray for you, they bless you, God bless you, thank you so much, but how can I pay? How can I ever pay?
mhm.
Then the one thing I particularly say is help somebody else. You know, be the light for somebody else. Be that person that gotta guide this person how they can apply, how they can get their airline tickets, how can they get to the airport. And if they don't have the means to do it, you should find a way to help them out. And and that is the domino, you know. It's an act of love. Isn't that the most beautiful thing?
I think I agree, and I think most of us here will agree as well. There's also something called the innocent bystander approach, which you're expecting and waiting someone else to do what you can actually do yourself. And Ruth, I love that you're mentioning is like when you're being compassionate and you're making a difference, it is contagious. It's just if I'm just outside, out and about, and I see something on the floor and I pick it up, somebody sees me driving by, they might say, "Oh, you know what? I saw
I'll do
somebody
it too.
pick up something from the floor. Let me do it too." It's contagious,
Exactly.
right? Michelle, you're nodding your head. What are some of your thoughts?
I agree with so much of what the ladies have said. I mean, if every time we're going to engage in any action, if we do it from a place of compassion, the world would be a completely different place. Unfortunately, our egos a lot of times
Mm,
is where we drive all of our actions from, and ego can get in the way of so many things. If we tap into that feeling of compassion. You know how they say perception is reality, and we all look at life from our own prism of experiences, our own upbringing, our own values. So everybody's perspective on different things is going to be different inevitably because we're all We all have different mindsets and different upbringings, but if everybody just flipped the switch on the compassion button, before you take action on anything, the outcome is always going to be better. And I love that Ruth's answer is, to people that say, what can I do to repay you, or how can I pay for this? People that truly want to help don't expect anything in return, but
Exactly.
it is a beautiful thing
Right.
if someone is compelled, to then do the same for someone else in need. It's those are the things that change the world and change the life of others. And that's why compassion. I hadn't thought about it until you invited me on the show,
Hmm.
but it's really a phenomenal emotion to drive change in the world.
I
I
agree.
guess I guess for people, like-minded people and Rotarians like myself and so many Rotarians out there, um, we don't think about the word of compassion because it's like a natural thing. But if everybody in the world will behave and act with a little compassion, we can really heal things. The world can be a different place instead
Yes.
of being
Really different place.
like now, a little bit toxic and everything else. Like in my end, um, I've been very fortunate to receive compassion last year when I got sick.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
had compassion in myself. I received so much uh, love and support and compassion. It was unbelievable, and all that helped me heal. Through compassion of others, and that's the way it is. That's what I say. Compassion and love, it goes hand in hand. Kindness.
Ruth, when you were sick, how did you not lose hope and compassion? And how did you bounce back so fast to pick up where you left off?
I can say it's the compassion and the love of my family, one, and friends. And I never felt alone. And everybody else, through their compassion and love, they gave me strength. And all I wanted to do was pick up myself, heal, and go back to do what I was doing before. And I was very anxious just to heal and get better. And I
Mm.
did everything in my power to do so, but I didn't do it alone, and now it looks like nothing happened to me. I
Ruth,
feel
how
great.
many international trips have you gone on? How many gifts of life have you been a part of? Going to
How many?
Bolivia, going to the Philippines, like how many places have you visited to go and do some service?
Well, my family and I hosted about 17 children from different countries, from
Wow.
Uganda to Haiti to Salvador, Ecuador, the Philippines, Peru, Bolivia, Honduras, you know. But we traveled with the medical missions, bringing the medical missions to the countries. We went to Ecuador. I've been to the Philippines, Ecuador, Salvador, Bolivia, Peru, many times. Went back like 2, 3 times.
So I just wanted to put this here. What we're talking about now is an organization, a nonprofit called Gift of Life, where the Rotary Club International is a big supporter. And what we do is we host the family. Gift of Life would probably cover the flight, the some of the hospital fees, but getting to the hospital, picking them up, getting them from the airport, providing food, things like that, clothes when they're here. Sometimes we would get together to the host house and bring toys and food and just kind of have a celebration. And so that's the gift of life. And, we're talking about the power within compassion, and two organizations that we talked about today, Baby Bundle and Gift of Life. are really, really creating a large impact. And I just want to applaud Mia and Ruth for standing in the gap, and Michelle, of course, for starting us off and being super vulnerable. And, I really appreciate this conversation, and I hope you enjoyed it too.
Yes, we did.
As we're rounding third base, there's a part of the show called Final Thoughts. All right. The Final Thoughts segment is kind of where we would put a wrap up on our remedies, and we're going to go and speak a rotation. So, Michelle, as we're rounding third base, what are your final grows and glows for those that are watching?
Well, I think in the most basic way that you can express compassion, because not everybody, has it in them to do necessarily philanthropic work. But if we just inject a little compassion into our daily conversations, our
Mhm.
daily interactions, understanding that we're not always going to have like-minded ideas with our life partner, our spouses, our children, but even from the perspective of daily conversation, to avoid conflict, if we
Mm.
look at the other person's point of view with empathy and compassion, the outcome of the conversation might be better
Yes.
than arguing or butting heads or yelling at each other. So, compassion is something that you can apply to a lot of different things in your life. And these ladies, are I think on the other end of that spectrum, where they're really giving of their time and their own life to change the world. And that's an incredible thing. Everybody can take a page from that. But even if you're not that person that gives of yourself in that way, there are ways that you can express compassion that can change somebody else's life. Sometimes I think just a little validation, just validating the way people feel and making them feel seen and heard,
Mm.
can make their day, can change their outlook, can make them feel special. And those things have a way of changing someone's existence. So a lot to talk about. We need a
Very,
second segment on
very,
compassion.
very, very well said. I think we're gonna have to put a part two to this. You know, I really appreciate those final thoughts, and it goes a long way, right? And
Yeah.
you are in control. I am in control, and how we react, right? Casting that second stone, right? So if someone's trying to, you know, uh, come out of pocket, so they say, right, and just kind of take you off your rhythm, just
Yeah.
remember, just stay the
Don't let
course.
them.
Don't let them.
Hit
Mia,
him with that compassion. Hit him with that
Exactly.
hit
compassion.
him with the compassion. You get some compassion, and you get some compassion.
Exactly.
Mia, what are some of your final thoughts?
It's something that's right here that you could do. It could be a simple little thing, uh, or it could be as much as you want or can. It could be compassion with animals, just positive thoughts to somebody. And right now in that World Happiness Report, they were like within the five things to do is to be compassionate and help and give a helping hand to somebody in need, and that makes you a happier person too. So exactly what we were talking about. Great segment. I thank you so much for bringing it up, and I thank you. Those were my final thoughts. Not
Thank
something
you.
abstract out there. It's right here within your hands to give, and that's it.
Thank you so much. And those were definitely some strong final thoughts there. And, again, if you're watching on the live, hashtag live. If you're watching this later on the replay, hashtag replay. And if you want to get in touch with one of us, or you want to get involved in the Rotary or Baby Bundle or Gift of Life, please reach out. And if you're struggling with anything and you need a community, we're here for you. Ruth, what are some of your final thoughts? Oh,
People can think or breathe and count to three before
mm,
they walk away from an opportunity to help somebody.
mhm,
And it's very important that our human beings should never feel alone. they it should be nice if everybody feels like someone can lay the hand, and someone anybody can be the shoulders for someone that is going through difficulties. So that is putting yourself in the other person's shoes. So it's a lot of work to do, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to share. It's a privilege. Thank you for having us, Anthony.
Thank you. And the privilege is all mine, and I'm just being used as we all are, right? I'm that one that I've been through a lot personally. And this is a way where it's a constant healing, and having these conversations and pushing the envelope is why the round table exists. So I want to say thank you so much for those that were watching. We always like to end the show with a quote. And this is the quote of the show, brought to you by Dalai Lama. Compassion and tolerance are not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Speakers, don't go anywhere. Hang out in the afterglow. Go in grace, go in peace. This is Anthony Rosa, Mr. Remedy. You are watching another show on the Round Table Remedies. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye now.